If I say it's raining cats and dogs out there, I don't think too many of you are reaching for the phone to report me to the SPCA or worse, PETA. But when I talk about on this channel, when we document how criminals are treated as victims and the victims are treated as criminals, I think some of you guys might think I'm exaggerating for dramatic effect. I'm not. Now, we just ran a video the other day, Greatest Hits from last year. And the reason we ran it was because, not just because of the nasty nature of the violence, where a guy beat up his pregnant girlfriend, knocked over his kid, tried to run her over with a car, then tried to kill three cops with his car again. No, I really think the appeal of that video to me was when his mom rolled into the scene and said he was a good boy. He didn't do nothing. Anyway, so after that video ran yesterday, I got an email from one of our more careful viewers, Larry. You know who you are, Larry. And Larry said, Colin, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe it. Larry was right. I did not believe what he said was in this video. Let's see if you can catch it.
A Monroe County grand jury indicted 21-year-old Tyler Keys earlier this week on several charges, including 2 counts of attempted aggravated assault on a police officer. Keys pleaded not guilty in connection to the March 22nd incident that involved 2 towns. Police say it all began at an apartment complex in Webster when officers were called to a domestic incident involving Keys' pregnant girlfriend, who claimed that an argument had turned physical. Keys then reportedly fled, with his vehicle later tracked down in the town of Brighton, where police there tried to pull him over. Court documents say Keys sped toward 2 patrol cars, causing one car to crash into a curb. Keys then reportedly drove his car toward the patrol cars. One officer fired 2 rounds to stop the vehicle. No one was hurt, and Keys ended up crashing into a parked vehicle, where he was then taken into custody.
He's facing a range of 3.5 to 15 years in the Department of Corrections on each of those. He would then be followed with a potential term of post-release for 2.5 to 5, and those could all be run consecutive to one another. So they are very serious allegations here.
He's a young man. It's clearly was, I think, a product of an emotion he was feeling at the time.
There was a strong show of support and faith from family members of the victim.
God is in all control, and that's where we're going to leave it. You know, we have the victory.
How's he doing?
He's doing well.
Okay, did you see at the end of the video, the reporter sticks a microphone in the woman's face, and you hear the reporter going almost mournfully, "How's he doing?" And the mother said something, he's fine. And they caught, but the reporter, on the screen, they identified him as the victim's mother. They're talking about all the concern is being directed at the guy who tried to kill the cops, tried to hit and tried to hurt really badly his pregnant girlfriend. He is identified as the victim. Good Lord knows there's enough victims in this case. You know what? Let's even put aside the girlfriend for a minute. Because on some level, she's choosing to be with a guy who beats her up, okay? I'm sorry, but that reduces her level of victimhood. What about the cops? It's not just, there were 3 cops involved. He tried to kill 3 cops. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're running your car at 3 cops, you're trying to kill them. It's not just the cops that are the victims, right? Nobody, the cops' families, they're victims. The cops' families at home, knowing that their loved one is in the hospital or could go out the door any minute, get run over by a psycho with a mom who tries to defend him when they try to kill the cop that's their son or their brother or their husband or their father. You don't think those people are victims? They sure as hell are. I mean, you can take this victimhood as far as you want. What about their friends? What about their neighbors? What about everybody in this circle, their family? Every person in this cop's circle is a victim of this idiot who tried to kill the cops. And the TV station calls the predator a victim. Well, luckily, the DA had a little more sense than that, and Well, let's see what happened to him.
A man convicted of kicking his pregnant girlfriend and trying to run down officers with his car was sentenced to 9.5 years in prison today. In March, Tyler Keyes tried to hit Brighton police officers as they attempted to pull him over. They shot at Keyes. No one ended up being hurt. In court, Keyes told the judge it was a horrible night and that he made a mistake. But the judge pointed to what Keyes said and did to police that night, saying it was not a mistake.
He made many conscious decisions that day. Mr. Keyes had ample opportunity to change his mind, to act differently, or to just abide by law enforcement, and he chose not to. Instead, he chose to attempt to run over not one, not two, but 3 officers.
Keyes was charged with 4 counts of attempted aggravated assaults on an officer and 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child.
The poet, Michael Jagger, he wrote the lines, "Every cop is a criminal and all the sinners saints." Well, that's what we got here. That's what we have all over the country. In the face of this elevated level of black criminality, black on white crime, black mob violence, black on Asian, black on young, black on old, all we get are people saying the criminals are the victims and the victims are the ones who are really the criminals. And if you're a mayor or chief of police in that town and you come out and disagree with that, you're sure going to make a lot of black kids angry.